Good morning, my nuclear MAGA Americans. Well, it's less than a week before the elections, the midterms. And so naturally, I'm focused on politics. Let's take a look at NBC News. In their top story, federal judge issues restraining order against group monitoring Arizona ballot boxes. And we show this woman submitting a ballot, I assume, into the Maricopa County official ballot box. I've got a few problems with this, and I'm sure you do too. If you can't vote in person, you should apply for a mail-in ballot. Mail-in ballot's just that. You can drop it off in any mailbox and have it delivered by the U.S. Post Office. These drop boxes, if they're not monitored by an official, well, they're just prone to abuse, aren't they? Who's to say who this woman is? Who's to say whose ballot that is? Now, if she's submitting a ballot for, say, an elderly parent or something like that, and there's an official monitoring that ballot box, she would have to show some ID. She would have to show, if I was setting it up, she would have to show the ID of the person who she's submitting for. I don't like this thing where they're just stuffing ballots into this official ballot box. You can just hear the printers go, "Roar," can't ya? Now, let's go. I'm going to skip the second story. Go on to the third. Take a look at this. This is, again, I remind you, just 6 days before the election. Could this be election news? Behind the vocal Asian American minority railing against affirmative action. Supreme Court leans toward ending affirmative action in college admissions. Bravo, Supreme Court. I guess they're finally getting the idea it's equality, not equity. It's not that Asians are going to better grammar school and high schools. They're going to the same grammar schools and high schools that everybody else is going to. The reason they're getting into college higher is because they're motivated to do so by their parents. If you want your child to get into college, I might suggest that you start early enforcing good study habits into your child that will help him throughout his entire student life. Let's go down a little bit. Decision 2022. And look at the states. These are Democratic states that are up for play. Pennsylvania, Georgia, Arizona, Wisconsin, Nevada. And let's take a look at this Decision 2022. Senate, what if? Choose potential paths to a Senate majority in 2022. It lets you choose who you think is gonna win. So if you're a Republican, you're gonna make all those toss-up seats red. If you're a Democrat, you're gonna make all those toss-up seats blue. What a crock, huh? They don't even have the courage of their convictions to post what they think is going to happen. Now, again, let's skip right over that middle one and go to the far right. Biden to give primetime speech on threats to democracy in final midterms push. And if it's anything like every other speech that old slow Joe has given lately, he's going to push the fact that Republicans are a threat to democracy. Free speech is a threat to democracy. We can't have hate speech. We've got to control speech. We can't let people listen to the news and make up their minds themselves. We've got to push our own agenda. Did you notice anything about all these stories I brought up? Nowhere in here does it say what they think is going to happen? Let's go to the British news and see what the British think is going to happen. This from the Daily Mail. Democrats brace for disaster with 6 days until the midterms. Poll projection shows Republicans taking 4 seats in the Senate and gaining 31 seats in the House. This is going to be a landslide that causes a tsunami. Let's take a quick look at the story. The November 8 midterm elections are less than a week away as of Wednesday. An updated analysis of projected congressional outcomes shows Republicans are likely to pick up 4 Senate seats held by Democrats. These seats are in Arizona, Nevada, New Hampshire, and Georgia. The GOP is also projected to keep hold of Pennsylvania, where Democrats hope progressive John Fetterman would beat Trump-backed Mehmet Oz. I've already talked to you about this one. A month ago, Fetterman had an unsurmountable lead. It's disappeared. It got washed away in the outgoing tide. Meanwhile, a new CNN poll shows more voters are inclined to vote Republican than Democrat, despite an earlier iteration showing the left with a lead. Right now, the Senate is split 50-50. Well, close to 50-50. The Republicans hold 50 seats. The Democrats hold 48, 2 independent that vote Democratic. But if the Republicans don't pick up 4 seats, say the Republicans only pick up 1 congressional seat, they still hold a majority, 51-49. If they pick up 4, oh my goodness. And if they pick up the 31 seats in the House, does that qualify Slow Joe as a lame duck or a dead duck? Asking for a friend.